गुड इवनिंग सर, आपकी आवाज़ नहीं आ रही।
Okay, hello everyone.
हेलो सर।
Hello, sir.
Sorry, I was just finding my. So today we are going to do this block 4, which is of Spain and Spanish-speaking countries. कुछ नहीं है, बस इंग्लिश में पूरा ब्लॉक है. We'll do the reading of the whole block. Today and tomorrow we'll finish.
ओके
Our
सर।
second last class and tomorrow last. Then your BSL-002 will begin with 2 different trainers. Okay. चलिए, let's do the reading. ज़्यादा कुछ समझाने का है नहीं, इंग्लिश में पूरा. चलिए.
कहाँ से पढ़ना शुरू करें?
और यहाँ से द इम्पोर्टेंस ऑफ स्पेनिश लैंग्वेज. आपके पास भी है ना ये, तो आप अपना निकाल लीजिए या तो.
यस यस।
और यहाँ तो बहुत छोटा छोटा दिखेगा, आई एम श्योर.
हाँ जी सर, शुरू करूँ?
हाँ जी, बिल्कुल बिल्कुल.
The importance of Spanish language. The importance of a language has to be seen not only in terms of the number of speakers and its geographical spread, but also due to its importance as a cultural vehicle and the economical and political importance of the countries where the language is spoken. That is why nowadays Spanish is the third most studied language in the world. In 2018, the number of people studying Spanish as a second language was more than 21 million. In the following diagram, you will see the languages which are studied as a foreign language across the world and its percentage. English is 69, French is 7, Chinese is 2, and the rest is 9%. Let's see some of the most relevant data regarding the Spanish language. According to El Español, una lengua viva, Informe Instituto Cervantes. More
So
than 489.
Instituto Cervantes is a institute of Spanish language. जैसे Alliance Française है for French. Similarly, we have got Instituto Cervantes for Spanish, जो कि इंडिया में भी है. इंडिया में एक ही ब्रांच है, which is there in New Delhi. आपने हनुमान मंदिर देखा है सीपी में?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
तो एकदम उसके साथ, उसके बैक में. ठीक है. तो वहाँ पे I'll tell you what the best thing about that place is. For me it's like a temple only. तो आप लोग, if someone lives in Delhi NCR, तो आप वहाँ जा सकते हैं, फ्री में लाइब्रेरी का एक्सेस कर सकते हैं. कुछ कार्ड बनता है ऐसा, 1000 रुपये साल का कुछ ऐसा कार्ड बनता है. देन यू कैन इशू फ्यू बुक्स, स्पेनिश बुक्स आप इशू कर सकते हैं, सीडीज बुक कर सकते हैं, मूवीज कर सकते हैं, न्यूज़पेपर ले सकते हैं, मैगजीन्स, एवरीथिंग इज एक्सेसिबल टू यू. बहुत सारी बहुत बड़ी लाइब्रेरी है, वहीं बैठ के पढ़ सकते हैं. एंड इट्स अ गुड प्लेस टू बी इन. यू विल एंजॉय इफ यू एवर गेट अ चांस टू गो देयर. डू गो, चेक करके जाइएगा नेट पे, बिकॉज कोविड के चक्कर में थोड़ा ऊपर नीचे रहता है खुलने का और बंद होने का. सेकेंड थिंग, गुड थिंग अबाउट देम इज दैट एक दिल्ली का एग्जाम होता है जो शायद इसमें आएगा, हम आगे देखते हैं. देन आई टेल यू अबाउट दैट एग्जाम आल्सो. लेट्स गो.
Okay. So more than 489 million people speak Spanish as their mother tongue. The number of potential users of Spanish exceeds 585 million. Spanish is the second mother tongue in the world in terms of number of speakers after Mandarin. More than 22 million students study Spanish as a foreign language in 107 countries. Spanish competes with French and Mandarin for the second place among the most studied languages as a second foreign language. In the US, Spanish is the most studied language at all levels of education. In the UK, Spanish is perceived as the most important language for the future. The contribution of all Spanish speaking countries to the world GDP is 6.9%. Spanish would be the fourth most powerful language in the world, slightly behind French and Chinese. सर कोई और पढ़ना चाहेगा?
नहीं, बहुत सारा है, आप अभी पढ़िए।
Okay, okay. Spanish is the third most widely used language on the internet after English and Chinese. 8.1% of internet communication takes place in Spanish. It is the second most used language in Wikipedia, Facebook, and Twitter. Spain is the third largest exporter of books in the world after the US and UK. Two Spanish speaking countries, Spain and Argentina, are among the top 15 book producers in the world, according to the International Publishers Association. The number of works translated from another language into Spanish is very significant. Spain, Argentina, and Mexico are among the top 15 film producing countries in the world. Spain ranks 8th in the production, Argentina and Mexico rank 11th and 12th. It is believed that if the trends do not change in the next 3 or 4 generations, 10% of the world population will speak Spanish. It is also the second language used for international communication in different organizations such as UN, UNESCO, or FAO, and the third most used language on the internet. Here you will find a statistical data regarding the total number of native speakers in the Spanish speaking countries. Mexico, should I read the numbers? Not necessary.
No, 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 no.
Not necessary. Okay. Then after that, activity 1, activity 2 है,
Yeah, we can skip
और we
those.
can go ahead
Yeah, we
with
can go ahead. This is now these points are very important. ये जो हम जितने points पढ़ेंगे ना काफी important है, थोड़ा आसान. Everyone please pay attention. Yes.
yes. Spanish in Spain ना सर ये वाली आप बोल रहे हैं?
हाँ जी. नहीं
Spanish
नहीं नहीं
in
नहीं नहीं नहीं, उससे पहले did you
नहीं.
know that?
हाँ, did you know that interesting facts about Spanish language? Okay. So ये वाली ना?
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes, there are
There
two.
are two ways of naming the Spanish language: Espanol and Castellano. Castellano, the Spanish equivalent of Castilian. The terms used vary from region to region and from country to country, usually depending on the political point of view of the speaker. As Miguel de Cervantes Saavedra, author of Don
Quixote.
Quixote,
Quixote.
Quijo-
Quixote.
Quixote, Don Quixote was an important reference in the world. Spanish is often called La Lengua de Cervantes, the language of Cervantes. One of the pros of learning Spanish is that it is one of the world's most phonetic languages. If you know how a word is spelled, you will most certainly be able to pronounce it. The exception is foreign words, recently incorporated to the language, that maintain their original spelling. Arabic is the language after Latin which has highly influenced the Spanish vocabulary. Nowadays, English has become to have a large influence on the Spanish language, sharing hundreds of words relating to the field of technology and culture. Some of the Spanish words that include all 5 vowels of Spanish phonetics are mm, murciélago, auténtico, and equación. After reading and studying the Larousse dictionary, Amparo Ateortua from Medellin, Colombia, discovered 355 examples of these particular words. The first Spanish grammar was written by Antonio de Nebrija and was published in 1492, the same year Columbus discovered America. It was also the first grammar created for a Romance language. La Real Academia Española, RAE, the Royal Spanish Academy, which was created in the 18th century, is the official royal regulatory institution that decides what is correct or the standard norm in Spanish. It writes authoritative dictionaries and grammar guides. Its decisions are followed in both Spain and Latin America. It is affiliated with national language academies in 22 other Hispanophone countries through the Asociación de Academias de la Lengua Española, ASALE, Association of Academies of the Spanish Language. Spanish language has its own day for celebration. It is called El Día e la Fiesta de Todos los que hablamos español, and it happens every year in the month of June since 2009. During this special day, which is also celebrated across the world, there are concerts, conferences, and many activities related with the Hispanic culture. In this celebration, people vote for their favorite Spanish word. A total of 11 Nobel Prizes in literature have been awarded to authors in Spanish language. The first written Spanish record that we have is Las Glosas Emilianenses. Emilianenses, glosses of Saint Emilianus from the 10th century. Actually, these first, yes.
Okay. Can someone? Okay, someone. Chitraksha just posted a message. Thank you, Chitraksha. Binoy was asking for class meeting. Chaliye, let's go ahead.
So, Chitraksha is reading, or I'll continue?
आप कंटिन्यू कीजिए शिवा जी.
Okay, okay, okay. The first written Spanish record that we have is Las Glosas Emilianenses, glosses of the Saint Emilianus from the 10th century. Actually, these first known documents are notes written in the margins of a religious manuscript in Latin that help the reader to understand some Latin terms. The first literary long work fully written in Spanish is El Cantar del Mio Cid, an anonymous epic poem from the mid 12th century, which is about the Castilian hero El Cid and relating events that take place during the Reconquista, reconquest of Spain from the Moors. So,
Perfect.
Spanish, can we go ahead?
Yeah, we'll start from here. यहाँ से पढ़ते हैं. Spanish in America and other parts of the world.
Spanish in America and the other parts of the world. Okay. Most Spanish speakers are in Latin America. It's the official language of 19 countries in the American continent. Argentina, Bolivia, co-official with Quechua, Chile, Colombia, Costa Rica, Cuba, Dominican Republic, Ecuador, El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras, Mexico, Nicaragua, Panama, Paraguay, Peru, Uruguay, Venezuela, Puerto Rico, and Spanish is also spoken in the US, where it is by far the most important second language in the country with over 50 million speakers. There are more Spanish speakers in the US than there are speakers of Chinese, French, Italian, Hawaiian, and the Native American languages combined. It is widely spoken in states such as California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas, and the big cities like New York, LA, and Miami. It is believed that by 2050, the United States will become the first Spanish speaker country in the world. From the 16th century onwards, the Spanish language was taken to America through the Spanish colonization by the conquerors, but the conquerors dealing with new products, new plants, animals, and instruments needed also to introduce many native words to express the fascinating new reality that they were observing. In the following chart, you will see the indigenous languages that influenced Spanish in the areas where they were spoken.
So these were the language example. Mexico and Central America, we've got Nahuatl and Azteca. Caribbean, they speak Arahuaca,
Taino.
Taino, and Caribe. Then we've got Quechua. Quechua is quite famous in Colombia, Ecuador, Peru, Bolivia, and north of Chile. Then Paraguay, and north of Argentina, they speak Tupi Guarani. Okay? And on the right, these are the words which have been taken from these languages into Spanish language.
Okay.
Okay, perfect.
Yes. In the 20th century, Spanish was introduced to Equatorial Guinea and the Western Sahara and to areas of the US that had not been part of the Spanish Empire, such as New York City. It is also important to remember the importance that Spanish still maintains in Filipinas, former Spanish colony, although nowadays English is becoming more and more important in the country, substituting Spanish. Then about the flags, then
So these are the
about
flags.
Spanish
Okay,
words.
can you try and recognize which flags are these?
Mexico one. I think this F is Mexico.
Hmm. Wait, F
C
is
is
Mexico,
Spain.
perfect. C, no, C is not Spain. C is, I guess, Ecuador or Colombia, I guess. दोनों का सिमिलर सा, बस बीच में एक मार्क होता है.
Okay. B is Mexico.
No, 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 no.
E
F is Mexico.
Chile.
F is
Sorry.
Mexico. E is
F is
Peru. D is
Chile, sir.
D is, I guess, if I'm not wrong, Cuba.
Cuba. Okay.
नहीं, पुएर्तो रिको. एक बार चेक करते हैं.
Puerto. Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico is A. My bad. Puerto Rico is A. नहीं, Puerto Rico opposite of A है. Wait. Someone's entering the class. Binoy. Binoy was entered. He's entering again. Binoy, are you there? No.
You know, has left, so I think.
No, I just got an again request to enter this. तो एक बार
क्यूबा
सारी
क्यूबा है ए
हाँ,
क्यूबा है
और वो
और
E
बी इज
Argentina.
अर्जेंटीना सी इज
E
कोलंबिया डी इज चिली
चीले. हाँ, चीले और उसका सिमिलर सा है. ठीक है.
यस
देन पेरू एंड देन
पेरू एंड
मेक्सिको.
मेक्सिको
Mexico.
परफेक्ट. चलिए आइए. ओके, लेट्स गो थ्रू दिस. ये एक बार क्वेश्चन उसमें आया था. क्या कहते हैं, असाइनमेंट का क्वेश्चन था एक बार, ये जो ग्रीन में है ना, स्पेनिश डायलेक्ट्स एंड वेराइटीज. लेट्स सी दिस.
सो ये चॉकलेट वाला
नहीं नहीं नहीं, नीचे. ये से
स्पेनिश डायलेक्ट्स एंड वैराइटीज ओके इन फोनोलॉजी सर
हाँ हाँ हाँ, ऊपर वाला से स्टार्ट करें.
ऊपर से पढ़ना है मतलब मैनी पीपल से ना
यस.
Many people used to think that northern dialects in Spain were closer to the standard Spanish language. It is true that the speech of Madrid has influenced the standard for Spanish in Spain due to its use on radio and television, but this doesn't mean that it is or it has to be the norm. Moreover, the greatest linguistic varieties of Spanish exist in Mexico. It is spoken by more than 20% of world's Spanish speakers, being the largest Spanish-speaking country in the world. Great part of the richness of Spanish is due to the variety of this language all over the world. However, there is a unity among all its variations that allow people from different countries and regions to understand each other. Let's see some of the most important variations in Spanish. सर ये ग्रीन वाला पढ़ना है इन फोनोलॉजी इन ग्रामर in phonology, say the phoneme E spelled Z or C before E or I and sounds like the English thought maintained in northern and central Spain is merged with the sibilant S and therefore words like casa and casa or coser and coser sound the same. This happens in south of Spain and all over Latin America. Aspiration, it is a loss of pronunciation of H of the sound S at the end of the syllable. The word mismo is pronounced as mimo, and tomates as tomate.
यस.
Mimo,
दे
mimo.
ईट एस खा जाते हैं.
S खा जाते हैं. This happens mainly in south of Spain, the Caribbean and coastal areas of South America. Then ustedes and vosotros. The use of ustedes is formal as second person plural in all the countries and regions, but it is also used in informal situations in Latin America, the Canary Islands in Spain, and some regions of Andalusia. Meanwhile, in the rest of the Spain, they use vosotros for informal situations. In grammar, "buceo" is a use of vos for the second person singular. Verb forms also change. Let's see the difference in present while using tu or vos pronoun. Tu is amas, comes, duermes. Vos is amas, comes, and dormis. This happens only in Argentina, Paraguay, Uruguay, and Central America. In some places such as Chile and Venezuela, you can find both forms tu and vos. Then let's sum up आ गया से ये lesson. Although Spanish originated in the Iberian Peninsula, evolving from colloquial Latin, today it is by far more speakers in Latin America, having been brought to the new continent of Spanish colonization. Despite the fact that there are some varieties in grammar and pronunciation between the different countries and regions that speak Spanish, the difference are not so great as to inhibit communication. On the contrary, a person from Guatemala and a person from Chile will be able to understand each other easily. This uniformity, the number of native speakers, its geographical spread, and its importance in education makes Spanish one of the most important languages of the world.
Perfect. आइए next चलिए. Let's go to
14.
music from Spain.
Music from Spain.
Can someone else read it? That ma'am can just take some rest.
It's okay, sir. I can go ahead. If anybody is interested, otherwise I can go ahead. Should I, or anyone is ready?
Yeah, you can continue.
Music from Spain. If you think about Spanish music for the first time, that will come to your mind is flamenco and Spanish guitar. But the truth is that Spanish music is very rich and diverse. There are great opera singers such as Placido Domingo, Montserrat Caballé, or Jose Carrera, and there are also different traditional music and dances such as La Jota in Aragon, La Muñeira in Galicia, or La Sardana in Catalonia. In Spain, you can enjoy Zarzuela. Zarzuela in the theater,
Zarzuela, Zarzuela.
Zar, Zarzuela in the theater, quite close to Bollywood style. Pop singers or singer-songwriters, cantautores. But let's learn about the most famous rhythms in Spain. Flamenco. Although the exact origin of flamenco art is unknown, we do know that it is a wonderful creation and a union of many different traditions. The music from the gypsies, the popular songs and dances of Andalusia, Murcia, and Extremadura, the Arabic rhythms, etc. This art absorbed everything that was artistically interesting, but this is true talking not only about flamenco's origin but also on what is happening today. When flamenco is incorporating modern music such as rock, pop, salsa, bossa, nova, blues, as we can wonderfully appreciate in the work of Enrique Morente, flamenco developed into its definitive form from during the 18th century, and it is made up of four main elements: coplas, that is lyrics; cante, voice; baile, dance; guitarra, guitar. Then flamenco music styles called palos are classified according to the basic rhythmic patterns in its geographic origin and tempo. There are more than 50 different palos: alegrias, tangos, soliares, bolerias, seguirias, tarantas are just some of the palos you can enjoy in a flamenco show. You will be amazed with the virtuosity of the guitar players. Artists like Paco de Lucia, Vicente Amigo, or Tomatito are known everywhere. The passion of flamenco singers such as Camarón de la Isla, Enrique Morente, or Carmen Linares, and the movements of flamenco dancers such as Eva La Herba Buena, Sara Baras, or Joaquin Cortes. Women wear high heels, a rose in the hair, and beautiful dresses with many layers of ruffles in different colors. From the beginning of the 20th century, flamenco is performed all over the world. It is also taught in many countries. There are more academies in Japan than in Spain. On 2010, UNESCO declared flamenco as one of the masterpieces of the oral and intangible heritage of humanity. Then we have down Spanish pop music. I'll go ahead. Can I go
Yes.
ahead, sir?
Yeah, yeah. Go.
Spanish pop music originated from the English and the American rock and roll bands of the early 60s, but it was the 80s with groups such as Alaska, Radio, Futura, or Hombres G when the so-called golden age of pop music happened. Since then, Spanish pop music has never stopped growing, and it is heard today in all Hispanic societies. It is difficult to choose one among all the groups and singers, as each one of them has his own style and value. Here are some names: Presuntos Implicados, Jarabe de Palo Estopa, Ketama, El Canto de Loca, La Oreja de Van Gogh, Alex Ubago, David,
These are the names you
David.
can just move ahead, move ahead. Okay.
But without any doubt, the most famous singer, the most rewarded, the one that has had a greater influence in Hispanic pop is Alejandro Sanz. To date, Alejandro Sanz has sold more than 25 million around the globe and has won 3 Grammys and 16 Latin Grammys. He has songs with many international musicians such as The Core, Shakila, Calle 13, Juanes, or Paulo Vallesi. Alejandro Sanz was born in Madrid in 68. Although his parents were from Cadiz, Andalusia, he started composing songs and playing the guitar at a very early age. But it was in 1991 with the album Viviendo Deprisa, Living Quickly, and when his career started to flourish. The following albums, working with the guitarist who has greatly influenced Alejandro, Mars, then as some songs such as Corazon Partio or La Tortura, which Shakira has achieved outstanding success in Spain, Latin America, and the US. Then, can we go down to music from the Caribbean, sir?
Yes, please.
Let us
Uh,
now. Salsa.
Instead of spending time here, I guess first we should directly go to here. Paint the art पे आओ. फिर हम म्यूजिक पे वापस आएंगे. पहले आर्ट पे आओ.
Okay.
Something more important information here. Let's start with Pablo Picasso, the greatest
15,
painter ever.
15.3. Pablo Picasso. In this section, paintings, you will find the life and work of some of the most famous Hispanic painters who have contributed immensely to the art world and their most renowned paintings. Pablo Picasso. Some of the world's most renowned artists are from the Spain. Diego de Velázquez, Francisco Goya, El Greco, Bartolomé Esteban Murillo, Juan Miro, Dali, Antonio Lopez. In fact, many tourists come to Spain attracted by the long artistic tradition of the country. Perhaps the most valued Spanish painter of the 20th century is the innovative Pablo Picasso. His long artistic career that lasted 75 years was in constant evolution. The traditional paintings during the first years, the blue period affected by the tragic death of his best friend, Cubism, Classicalism, Surrealism. At every moment, Picasso knew how to adapt his creations to the vertiginous and technological and cultural events of his time. Picasso was born in 1881 in Malaga, Spain, and it is said that his first words were peace, peace, in an attempt to say la peace, the Spanish word
Lapis.
for
Lapis
pencil,
is pencil.
pencil, la peace. At the age of 14, he completed the 1 month qualifying examination of the Academy of Fine Arts in Barcelona in just 1 day, despite being one of the youngest ones. His mother knew from the beginning that he was meant to be an important person. And she used to tell him, if you become a soldier, you will be a general. If you become a monk, you will end up as a pope. But he chose to be a painter and definitely ended up being one of the most important painters of all times. His most famous works are from, so ये शॉर्ट में लिखा पढ़ना है या फ्रीडा कालो पढ़ना है?
Frida Kahlo पूरा पढ़ना.
Frida Kahlo. Unlike Picasso, the Mexican artist Frida Kahlo didn't always wanted to be a painter. Her artistic career started after a bus accident when she was 18. She spent over a year in bed recovering from fractures to her spine, ribs, and pelvis. She went through more than 30 operations in her lifetime, and during her convalescence, she began to paint. 4 years later, she married the famous Mexican muralist Diego Rivera, who was 20 years older than they had a turbulent relationship filled with infidelities, fights, reconciliations, sufferings. Frida had a poor health and couldn't have children. During her lifetime, Frida created around 200 paintings related to her experiences in life, physical and emotional pain, and her tempestuous relationship with Diego. Many of these drawings were self-portraits. Frida used to say that she painted so many self-portraits because I'm so often alone because I'm the subject I know the best. Some of her best works are Las Dos Fridas, Mi Nacimiento, La Columna. She died at the age of 47. 1 year after her death, Rivera gave her house to the Mexican government to become a museum. Today, many people visit the Museo Frida Kahlo to contemplate her art. By the way, today her paintings fetch more money than any other female artist in the world. If you want to know more about her life and the work of this impressive artist, watch the movie Frida. starring Salma, which won Oscar for Best Soundtrack. The next what?
Okay, wait. Let's see some paintings of now. Okay, so I hope you all know this is Pablo Picasso. Okay, this is the guy
Yes.
in white and red. Now he is considered to be the inventor of Cubism. Now Cubism is a art form where a painting is drawn using cubes. Can you see this
Cubes.
painting on the right? ये सारे क्यूब से मिलके बनी है.
Oh.
तो ये इन्होंने इन्वेंट किया था काइंड ऑफ विद हिज बेस्ट फ्रेंड. दिस इज ऑल क्यूबिज्म. ओके, ये देखो ये पूरा गिटार बना हुआ है क्यूब से. इसमें कोई
Mm.
भी ऐसा टेढ़ी लाइन और गोल वाला लाइन नहीं है. टोटली क्यूबिज्म. ठीक है. So
Yes.
that's how I'm famous. Like that's how good he was. This is again cubism. Okay.
Okay.
Next, then let me show you his best favorite, like the most famous painting. That is Guernica. Now Guernica is considered to be his best painting. और ये पेंटिंग अभी रेना सोफिया म्यूजियम में है. Now this painting shows, तो स्पेन में क्या हुआ था, सिविल वॉर हुआ था. तो सिविल वॉर का एक गुएर्निका जगह का नाम है जहाँ पे आई गेस he was also there. I'm not sure about that, but then he drew this picture portraying all the suffering during the civil war. जैसे देखेंगे यहाँ सब रोते हुए लोग हैं, there are animal
Yes.
killed, there are people killed. So there's a story, it says that Spanish government उनको request किया था कि आप इसके ऊपर और पेंटिंग मत बनाइए. The reason is it's a sad thing about for the country to have a civil war. और उसको
Mm.
पेंटिंग में बना देना विल मेक इट रिमेन फॉर एवर.
Permanent. Yes.
परमानेंट हो जाएगा वो. जैसे ये भी है. तो इसके बाद उन्होंने नहीं बनाया. बट दिस इज कंसिडर्ड टू बी हिज बेस्ट वर्क. पर्सनली आई डोंट फाइंड दिस हिज बेस्ट वर्क.
Mm.
Now sad painting is not something that I like personally.
Yes.
That for that. चलिए नेक्स्ट. इसके बाद लेट्स सी फ्रीदा kahlo. Now फ्रीदा kahlo is a very ग्रेट पेंटर बिकॉज फ्रीदा kahlo सिर्फ अपनी पेंटिंग बनाती थी. 80% वो अपनी पेंटिंग बनाती थी. तो इफ यू सी दिस इज हर ओन पेंटिंग. कैन यू सी. और फ्रीदा kahlo की सबसे बड़ी पहचान क्या है, इनकी आईब्रोज में जॉइन थी. इवन इफ यू सी सम लाइंस ऐसे जो जॉइन है, वो लोग
Mm-hmm.
समझ जाते थे कि इट्स अ फ्रीदा kahlo पेंटिंग. और
Mm.
फ्रीदा kahlo की बात होती. तो इनकी सबसे फेमस पेंटिंग थी दोस्त, नहीं ये नहीं थी, ये वाली थी ये. तो इसमें शी इज शोइंग her two sides. One, if you see, she is on a stretcher where she's beaten because
Mm.
she had a very hard life. First, very
Yes.
hard childhood, and then she was married to Diego Rivera, who was a muralist who was equally famous. But then it was a bad marriage, and then she used to
Mm.
suffer a lot. So most of her time she was on the bed or in the hospital only. So then on the right she's drawing something that she would want her life to be like a princess पूरा dress ऐसे red
Mm.
में. And on the left she's drawing her
Yes.
reality that she was
Mm.
in the hospital and she is not liking her life.
Mm.
Then if you see she's also now this is her drawing. She has shown herself like a running like a deer, but then
Dear.
people are throwing arrows on her and trying to
Arrows.
kill kind of a thing. तो ऐसे सारी जितनी भी है ना, she used to
Mm.
draw. Now just see this. This is a painting.
Yes.
She used to
All
put a lot
flowers
of
are blooming.
flowers. हाँ ये पूरे फ्लावर्स ऐसे लगाती थी. बहुत सारी पेंटिंग्स इनकी ऐसी बहुत ज़्यादा.
Mm.
And she used to draw herself mostly.
Mm.
This is one of her paintings. Columna rota means broken backbone.
Mm.
Okay. So because she used to feel that although she was a very strong woman. No, this I guess this is her picture if I'm not wrong. It's not painting. This is her picture.
Mm.
So, I guess
Original photo.
I feel so because what happened that देखो हाँ you can see this. I was finding this. देख रहे हो? So she is on a bed and drawing.
Mm.
1950s की फोटो है ये.
Oh,
हाँ तो
yes.
बेड पे ही बैठ के ऐसे बनाती थी. और mostly she used to draw about herself because she again as it was written she says that I am the best theme or the topic I know.
Mm.
So that's how she used to do. Okay,
Yes.
good. Great painters और भी painters हैं काफी. Let me show you my favorite painter. and his most famous painting, which I love. Now I like this guy.
So sorry to interrupt just for a minute. सर आप आपने थोड़ा सा आपका इंट्रोडक्शन दे देंगे. जस्ट लेट अस नो अबाउट
ओके
यू.
मैं,
आपने क्या किया.
हाँ आपको एंड में दूंगा रिकॉर्डिंग
हाँ.
बंद करके. आई विल गिव यू माय इंट्रोडक्शन, ठीक
ओके सर. थैंक यू सर.
है. लेट्स सी, दिस इज साल्वाडोर दाली.
सलवाडोर दाली.
ये इनका एक्चुअल फेस है. मैं आपको इनका एक्चुअल फेस दिखाऊं. इनका एक्चुअल फेस ही पेंटिंग की तरह लगता है. ये इनकी एक्चुअल मूछें हैं.
ओह.
हाँ, ये दिस इज एक्चुअल फोटो. ये थोड़ा कार्टून टाइप में बनी हुई है. तो अब इनकी पेंटिंग्स दिखाता हूँ मैं आपको. ही वाज अ वेरी इंटेलिजेंट गाय अकॉर्डिंग टू मी. इनकी पेंटिंग बड़ी इंटेलिजेंट होती थी. तो एंड ही यूज्ड टू मिक्स नेचर. So I'll show you his best painting, which I find is one of the greatest paintings. This is the painting which I love. Can you see? तुम्हें क्या दिख रहा है?
उनके फेस के बैकग्राउंड में उन्होंने दिखाया है. और वो तकड़ी जैसे स्केल्स जैसे
हाँ, तो इसमें क्या है,
आंखों
इसमें
को.
इन्होंने बहुत सारे एलिमेंट्स यूज करे हैं जो नेचर के होते हैं. उसमें अपनी फोटो बनाने की कोशिश करी है. तो जो
यस.
बुल हो गया, बुल के जो थॉर्न्स हो गए वो इनकी मूंछ हो गई. दिस इज लाइक अ फेरी जिनकी ड्रेस इनकी नोज की जैसी हो गई. टू
यस.
ये आईज हो गई, जो दो बैलेंसेस हैं. उनकी जो विंग्स
बैलेंस.
हैं वो इनकी आईज हो गई.
यस.
तो दैट्स लाइक आई जस्ट लव दिस पेंटिंग ऑफ हिज. और भी
So many
काफी
things
सारी
are
हैं.
incompleted. Yes.
हाँ, दिस इज हिज मोमेंट ऑफ एक्सप्लोजन. घड़ी है, उसका एक्सप्लोजन हो रहा है. और भी काफी डीप डीप मीनिंग है. हम लोग को तो आई गेस समझ में आएंगे भी नहीं आते. बट दे आर
Yes.
वेरी ग्रेट ग्रेट.
Yeah, great works.
Velasquez भी there was one, and many more. So if you want, you can just Google them and search about them and read about them.
Yes.
चलिए, let's move ahead. Okay, Antonio Gaudi के बारे में पढ़ेंगे. Again, one of the greatest architects of the world.
Oh, yes.
I'll show you this building also जो यहाँ फोटो में बनी हुई है.
The most famous Spanish architect in Spain is Antoni Gaudí. Thanks to his works, Barcelona has today a unique and original style. Gaudí used to miss many classes when he was studying architecture, but on the contrary, he was always at the library attending lectures about different topics. He believed that new developments in architecture would depend on social, political, and economical conditions rather than on architecture itself. As he didn't gain good grades when he finally graduated, the school's headmaster, Elias Rogent, Rogent बोले कि Rogent, R-O-G-E-N-T,
रोकेन बोलते हैं
Rogent,
बिकॉज इंग्लिश में नाम है. अगर वो रोजेन भी बोल सकते हैं बिकॉज इट्स अ
Rogent, Ellis.
सिंपल नाम.
Rogent said, "Who knows if we have given a diploma to a nutcase or a genius? Time will tell. If you pay a visit to the city of Barcelona, you won't have any doubts. You will visit Park Güell, where a city garden park full of colors modeled after English parks. Observe the undulating wall patterns of the facade of Casa Bayo, Batio, or understand why Casa Mila is known as La Pedrera or Stone Pit. His biggest project was the construction of the Cathedral La Sagrada Familia. Gaudi worked on this project for most of his life, more than 40 years, without ever seeing it finished. It is still unfinished nowadays. As there are no blueprints to follow, Gaudi worked wholly from his ideas. It is believed that the construction will be completed by 2025. During his last days, Gaudi became a taciturn man and stopped caring about his appearance. On June 7, 1926, he was run over by a street tram. Cab drivers, confusing with a beggar, refused to drive him to hospital, believing he would not be able to pay the ride. He died 3 days later. Oh my God.
Yeah. So let me show you this place. Now this place is one of the most amazing places in
La
Spain.
Sagrada Familia.
किसने सुना है?
नहीं सुना.
आइए
बहुत
देखते
और
हैं, बार्सिलोना में है।
Sagrada Media.
So this is the place I'm talking about. Can you see on the right if it's, yeah. It's a very huge monument.
Yes.
It's a cathedral. So what happened here is now this building or this monument is being constructed from 1882. ये 1882 से अभी तक बनता रहा है और अभी तक कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है।
Oh my
पीछे क्रेन्स
God.
दिख रही हैं आपको तीनों चारों,
Yes, 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 yes.
तो ये अभी भी हैं। तो
नीचे भी
एक्सपेक्टेड
ऊपर भी
डेली,
है लगी हुई। Yes.
हाँ ऊपर अभी भी लगी हुई है,
ऊपर
अंदर
हाँ
कंस्ट्रक्शन
ठीक है,
चल रही है।
चल रही है।
तो एक्सपेक्टेड था कि 2025 तक हो जाएगी, बट कोविड से पहले था वो, कोविड के बाद शायद 2027 डेट हो गई है।
Yes.
बट ये अब तक बन ही जा रहा है, बन ही जा रहा है। आपको लग रहा है भाई ऐसा क्या बना रहे हैं, आइए आपको दिखाते हैं ऐसा क्या बना रहे हैं।
Yes. Oh,
ये इसका अंदर का सीन है। तो देयर इज
oh,
नो ब्रिक यूज्ड, ये ऊपर की छत है।
oh my God.
ये देखिए, इट्स वन ऑफ द मोस्ट ब्यूटीफुल प्लेसेस यू विल एवर सी इन योर लाइफ। अब आपको मैं
It's in
इसका
Spain,
और,
right, sir?
यस,
It's in Spain only, na?
इट्स इन
बार्सिलोना,
बार्सिलोना, इन
बार्सिलोना।
Barcelona.
लेट मी शो। तो जो उसके बाहर की जो बनी हुई है ना, उसके अंदर भी एक एक छोटी छोटी डिटेल, माइन्यूट डिटेल्स बनाई है इन्होंने, देख रहे हैं। जैसे यहाँ पे शायद जीसस क्राइस्ट बने हैं, और ये पूरे
सर
लोगों का
ये
अलग अलग
टूरिस्ट के लिए ओपन तो नहीं होगा?
नहीं, ओपन है, ओपन, इट्स ओपन फॉर टूरिस्ट, ओपन
ओपन,
है।
अच्छा।
दिस इज द मोस्ट विजिटेड मॉन्यूमेंट इन स्पेन।
Oh, but it is under construction, but still it is open.
हाँ, इट्स अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन सिंस 1882, कंस्ट्रक्शन चले जा रही
ओहो,
है, कभी किसी
चली जा
पार्ट
रही है,
होना
अच्छा।
चाहिए। हाँ हाँ हाँ, बिकॉज व्हाट आई फील इसमें क्या हुआ कि ये स्टार्ट किसी और ने किया था,
हम्म,
फिर एक साल बाद वो उनकी डेथ हो गई, तो फिर अंतोनियो गाउदी ने टेक ओवर कर लिया था। और अंतोनियो गाउदी मेरे ख्याल से ना विदाउट ड्राइंग अपना काम करते थे।
काम
तो
करते
जब
थे,
वो
यस।
मरे तो उसके बाद वो लोगों को समझ में नहीं आया कि हमें कैसे क्या बनाना है।
हम्म,
वो फिर बने जा रहा है, और वो जितना उनसे हो रहा है उतना वो कर रहे हैं।
कर रहे हैं।
But it's a masterpiece. If you go there, it could have, I guess इसमें शायद seven world of wonder, seven world of wonders में भी शायद इनका नाम था, but then वो जीते नहीं, but this place is deserving, quite deserving.
सर कभी ऐसे हुआ है कि हमारे ये जो स्पेनिश स्टूडेंट्स हैं वो उनकी कोई ट्रिप ऐसे ऑर्गेनाइज की है स्पेनिश स्पीकिंग कंट्री में जाने के लिए, ऐसा कुछ?
इग्नू से तो नहीं
या
हुई है,
नहीं
अगर
हुई
हुई तो
है तो
I don't know.
ये खुद से ऐसे करनी पड़ेगी अगर कोई इंटरेस्टेड होंगे तो।
या फिर आप
अगर इग्नू भी
लिखिए
ऐसे करेंगे तो
यूनिवर्सिटी,
अच्छा है।
बट यूनिवर्सिटी को अगर आप लिखेंगे तो यूनिवर्सिटी विल कंसिडर, आई गेस यूनिवर्सिटी भी
यस,
करना
यस।
चाहिए बच्चे हो तो ये है बार्सिलोना का सीन। दिस इज द बार्सिलोना सिटी, एंड ये ऊपर पूरा ला फैमिलिया सग्रादा, इफ यू सी, ये
क्रेन के साथ में दिख रही है।
हाँ, क्रेन लगी हुई है, क्रेन 3 लगी हुई है और अभी तक लगी है और चलती है, नहीं कि ऐसे लगा रखी है। ओके,
यस।
चलते हैं आगे।
नेक्स्ट फर्नांडो बोतेरो।
हाँ, पढ़ लेंगे ज़्यादा, मतलब ऑल्दो आई डोंट फाइंड टू ग्रेट, बट है, इनका भी काफ़ी कंट्रीब्यूशन है इन टर्म्स ऑफ ड्राइंग। एक्चुअली में इंडिया में क्या होता है, इंडिया में ना स्टैचू बन जाती है, इफ यू सी, ऐसे आप सपोज करो आप पानीपत जाएंगे, रोहतक जाएंगे, ऐसी जगह पे ना स्टैचू बनी हुई है।
यस।
बट यहाँ पे स्टैचू नहीं, यहाँ पे स्टैचूज बनी है, बट वो ऐसी स्टैचू है कि आप टच कर सकते हैं, सड़क पे चलते हुए
हाँ।
साइड में आपको दिखेगा। थोड़ा डिफरेंट काइंड ऑफ एनवायरमेंट है, बिकॉज तो लोग कम है और वो प्रॉपर्टी को नुकसान नहीं पहुंचाते हैं। इंडिया में तो
नहीं
क्या होता है,
पहचाना।
स्टैचू तोड़
हाँ, अपने
दिया।
यहाँ पे तो स्टैचू की हालत कर देते हैं खराब।
हाँ, तो इसलिए
इतने।
यहाँ लोग बनाते ही नहीं है, बनाते तो थोड़ा दूर या ऊपर बनाते हैं कि लोग
यस,
टच ना कर
यस।
पाए। वहाँ क्या है, वहाँ नॉर्मल चलते हुए, इफ आई शो यू फ्यू पिक्चर्स, एक सर्वांतेस का कुछ एक स्टैचू सा बना हुआ है, सड़क पे चलते हुए ऐसा लगेगा कि आप टच कर लो, हेलो कर लो, काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग। तो थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस ऑफ आर्ट यहाँ से आता है, बिकॉज एक तो लोग भी बहुत कम है,
कम है,
किसने कोई
यस।
बना दिया तो वो पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी को पब्लिक प्रॉपर्टी का ट्रीट करते हैं, प्राइवेट नहीं समझते, उसका
Yes.
रिस्पेक्ट करते हैं। हाँ जी, चलिए।
The Colombian Fernando Botero is considered the living artist most recognized in the Hispanic world. In 2012, he received the International Sculpture Center's Lifetime Achievement in Contemporary Sculpture Award. His style is very distinctive. Botero depicts women, men, animals, nature, historical events, and characters with exaggerated and disproportionate volumetry. The artist has always been attracted to fat figures without knowing why. He creates intuitively, choosing colors, shapes, and proportions based on intuitive aesthetic thinking. At the beginning, his work was inspired by pre-Columbian and Spanish colonial art and the political murals of Mexican artist Diego Rivera, Frida Kahlo's husband. He was also influenced by the works of Francisco de Goya and Diego Velázquez, his artistic idols at the time. By the early 50s, Botero began studying painting in Madrid, where he made his living with copying paintings hanging in the Prado and selling them to tourists. In the late 50s, Botero, having experimented with proportion and size, developed his style, round, inflated figures. Some critics of art believe that the expanded proportions of his figures while he was in New York, including those in presidential family, suggest an element of political satire. Botero lived in Madrid, Barcelona, New York City, Paris, Medellin, and Pietrasanta in Italy. His sculptures can also be seen all over the world. Man on Horse in Jerusalem, Caballo in Medellin, Mujer con Espejo in Madrid,
एंड मैड्रिड।
etc.
तो इनके यहाँ आर्ट का ऐसा कल्चर है।
Yes.
फिर ये लेट्स सी, सिनेमा पढ़ लेते हैं। सिनेमा के बारे में पेड्रो अल्मोदोवार कुछ ज़्यादा ही फेमस है, तो थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं इनके बारे में।
एंड सर ऊपर का पैराग्राफ पढ़ना है सिनेमा का कि डायरेक्ट पेड्रो पढ़ना है? पेड्रो।
सिनेमा पढ़ लीजिए, बिकॉज इट विल थोड़ा सा इंट्रोडक्शन दिया है।
Yes. An interesting way of introducing yourself to the Hispanic culture is by films. It is a great way to learn colloquial expressions, train your ear to the rhythm and cadence of spoken Spanish, and be able to see some day-to-day scenes. Hispanic cinema is a growing industry with a number of films presented in famous international film festivals or nominated for Oscars demonstrates. Hispanic actors and actresses are also becoming more and more famous, and they appear in many English-speaking films. With the names of Penelope Cruz, Javier Bardem, Antonio Banderas, or Gael Garcia are internationally well known. They are also important film festivals and prizes in the Hispanic world, such as Spanish Square Awards, where winners will receive a small bronze bust statue of the Spanish painter Francisco Goya. Pedro Almodovar. Pedro Almodovar is the most successful and internationally known Spanish film director, screenwriter, and producer. From the very beginning, he works with women in his films because, as he says, they are much more spectacular to talk about. In his well-known movie All About My Mother, Todo Sobre Mi Madre, 1999, Almodovar pays a grand tribute to women and their ability to renew them. The film won the Oscar for Best Foreign Language Film in 2000. For this, he is often described as a women's director because many of his films focus on strong and attractive female characters. In the Oscar acceptance speech, he said, "Right now, I don't know if I have dreamt about this or not, but when you are in the ocean, you must swim. Being on the race for the Oscars, logically, I want to win." Almodovar was an important figure in the Spanish culture way before All About My Mother. By early 80s, he was already famous in Madrid, flourishing alternative cultural movement known as La Movida. Since then, he has always been proud of being associated with Spanish culture. I have no objection to my name being used to promote Spanish cinema, or on the contrary, I shoot in Spanish. I produce other Spanish-speaking films. I live in Spain, and this is my culture. The regular topics of his films are desire, passion, identity, and family. He likes to use popular songs, elements of pop culture, strong colors, scornful humor, melodrama, and complex narratives to create his movies. All these produces a particular style that has achieved international recognition. He has virtually received all prizes related to films, and Harvard University gave the filmmaker an honorary doctoral degree in 2009 for his contribution to the arts. Some of his best films are Mujeres al borde de un ataque de nervios, Tacones Lejanos, Todo sobre mi madre, Volver en la piel que habito, Latin American cinema. ये नेक्स्ट पढ़ना है ना, Latin American. Despite being very modest budgets, Latin American cinema is rich and diverse. There are some wonderful productions in Argentinian and Mexican cinema are worldwide recognized. Argentina is the only country to have won several Oscars with movies such as La Historia Oficial, the official story, and El Secreto de sus Ojos, the secret in their eyes. They have also achieved international success. Argentine films such as El Fio de la Novia, Nueve Reinas, La Ciénaga, and El Abrazo Partido. During the 40s, the golden age of Mexican cinema, the film industry in Mexico was very close to that of Hollywood. Stars of the epoch were Maria Felix, Dolores Del Rio, Jorge Negrete, and Cantinflas. We shouldn't forget to name the Spanish director Luis Buñuel, who was living in Mexico at that time. Currently, Mexican cinema has been reborn with films like Amores Perros, Y Tu Mama, También. Some Mexican directors have gained access to Bollywood. Alejandro González Iñárritu directed Babel. Alfonso Cuarón was the director of famous films such as Children of Men and Harry Potter, the Prisoner of Azkaban. Guillermo del Toro, co-founder of the famous Guadalajara Film Festival, directed the film Pan's Labyrinth. Was nominated for an Oscar for the Best Foreign Film. This film is set 5 years and after the Spanish Civil War, during the early period of Franco dictatorship. The story of the film blends a real and historical world with a mythical world of abandoned labyrinths and mysterious fawn creatures. Through Ophelia, the main character, we can observe not only the post-war oppression of Spain, but also the importance of imagination. This young girl may be the princess of a mysterious underground kingdom. Now we come to activities. Then let's sum up. The next unit,
Yes.
last unit, Las Fiestas.
Anybody else wishes to read if she is not tired?
Yes.
कोई है किसी को पढ़ना तो you may.
Sir, can I read, sir?
Yes, please go ahead.
A funny practice in Spain and carpooling. Friends or
Ear pulling.
family members.
Ear pulling.
Ear pulling. Friends, family members will pull the birthday boy or the girl's ear as many times as corresponds to his or her new age. For a Latin American girl, the most important birthday is when she
She
turns
turns.
50. This event is called Quie
Kin. Quinceañera. Quinceañera.
Quinciamera. The
Nera.
word
Niera.
Quinciamera comes from Spanish words quince
Quince.
for 15 and años for
Años.
50 for years.
Yes. Yes.
It marks the transition from childhood to the maturity in life of a woman. The girl years wears a special dress that includes certain traditional elements. She is accompanied by her father to the celebration and they both dance a waltz.
Waltz.
The father has
First
the
dance.
first dance with his daughter.
Daughter.
There is plenty of food and dances during the evening, and the girl gets to dance with friends and family members. In some Latin American countries, in Mera,
Quinceañera.
Mera,
Quinceañera.
Mera is much more traditional, where the celebration usually starts with mass held in a Catholic church.
Church.
Weddings,
Bodas.
bodas in Spanish, are also important events in Spain and Latin America. Traditionally, the man asks the father of the bride for permission to marry his daughter, and only with his blessing they start all arrangements. whole extended family is invited to the celebration, which usually never has less than 200 guests. During the celebration, they usually starts late around 7 p.m. The groom gives the bride 13 coins known as aras, representing his commitment to support her. Nowadays, many brides and grooms exchange these coins as a symbol of wealth. They will evenly share. After the ceremony, they both walk down the aisle while everybody throws rice and flower petals to the newly married couple. During the banquet,
Banquete de
de
bodas.
bodas,
Banquete de boda.
banquete de bodas, wedding feast. The bride and the groom move around from the table to the table carrying a basket with small wedding gifts, and they personally hand out to each guest, such as sweets, a cigar, or a mini bottle of wine for men, a perfume, or a candle for women. So can I read this investigator also?
Yes, no, go to the next one, perhaps. So now let me explain it once. So what happens is the way in US they celebrate Sweet 16. In Latin American countries they celebrate quinceanera. No, quince is 15 and anera is years.
Yes.
15 years of a girl is celebrated, not of a boy. So it's a very huge celebration. I guess just a chota, like the biggest celebration of anyone's life apart from their wedding. इतना बड़ा event होता है, and it's a very big day for the whole family because they think that a girl is being like becoming a woman, so they celebrate the womanhood. And the wedding, so wedding में क्या होता है, बहुत कम लोग होते हैं, around 200 people are there. Then there are different ceremonies which they talk about aras and then bakita de boda and other things. English में तो you can just read it again yourself. Let's move ahead and see Dia de los Muertos. काफी मस्त वो है festival. Go ahead.
It's many requests. Can you?
Yeah, it says perhaps it would be. It will sound. Can you see?
Okay. Yeah. Perhaps it will sound surprising, but the most Hispanic countries also celebrate the death. The family and friends gather on the 1st and the 2nd of November to remember and pray for friends and family members who have died. The Day of Deaths, Dia de los Muertos.
Muertos.
Muertos is particularly celebrated in Mexico, where it is a national holiday. People,
Okay. Little altars.
इसके बाद का नहीं दिख रहा है सर, एक बार
Just a second. I'm just. Here is it.
Yes.
Okay. People build altars at
Altar.
home, altars at home to honor the departed ones using photographs,
Stones.
sugar
Marigolds.
skulls, marigolds, and the favorite foods and beverages of the deceased. They will also visit their graves and decorate them with flowers and gifts. It is not a sad event, on the contrary, everybody remembers funny events and
That's
anecdotes about the departed ones and the traditional Mexican drinks like
tequila.
tequila,
Mezcal.
mezcal, or pulque is believed the
Pulque.
pulque is believed that the spirits of the dead are also enjoying the party, eating and drinking the ofrendas, offering and reminding those who are alive that there is a rebirth after death.
Perfect. So the way we have got Shraddh होते हैं जैसे इंडिया में,
Yes,
similarly
yes.
they celebrate their deceased ones, but they celebrate in a bit a happier manner. They stay throughout the night in the cemetery and celebrate, and then party, music, food, wine,
Mhm.
everything. Okay, now let's see the Christmas celebration. One of the most important.
Religious and historical celebrations.
Yes.
विनाया पढ़ रहे हैं कौन पढ़ रहा है
सीमा जी आप पढ़ लीजिए सीमा जी.
Okay, no problem. National celebrations, religious and historical celebrations.
Ma'am, you go ahead.
Yes, on December 25, all the Hispanic countries celebrate La Navidad, the commemoration of the birth of Jesus Christ. Christmas tree is not as particular as it is in Anglo-Saxon countries, but children prepare a Belen, a nativity scene with tiny figures that represent baby Jesus, Virgin Mary, Saint Joseph, a cow, and a mule, all together shelter near the manger in a barn. In many places, people compete to create the most original and realistic of these scenes, adding little houses, rivers, peasants, animals, etc. On 24 December, the night of the Christmas Eve, Noche Buena in Spanish, people gather close to the Belen and eat a copious meal, taste the delicious sweets such as turron, mazapan, or polvorones, and sing villancicos, Christmas songs. In countries such as Puerto Rico, a group of people called Parranda make surprise visit to houses late in the night singing these songs. The host has to open the door, invite the singers to come in, and offer them some beverages and food. Once they have fulfilled their appetite, they will go to a new house. Everybody is happy and cheerful during those days when nobody ever misses tasty food, happy songs, hot drinks, and plenty of fun. The red-dressed Santa Claus, Papa Noel in Spanish, isn't usually the person who brings gifts to children in Hispanic countries. They wait for the three kings, Melchor, Melchor, Gaspar, and Balthasar. It is believed that they read the letters that kids send them, asking them for specific gifts. They come very silently late at night and leave gifts close to the pair of shoes of each member of the family. For children, that morning of 6th of January is their favorite date in the Hispanic calendar, popularly known as Dia de los Reyes Magos. Other important celebrations of the Christian community is the Holy Week, La Semana Santa in the Spanish-speaking world, the week before Easter, Pascua in Spanish, where Jesus' death is commemorated. During these days, there are many processions of Pasos, realistic sculptures made of wood that represent individual scenes of the events of the Passion, or images of the Virgin Mary showing her grief for the torture and killing of her son. One of the most breathtaking things that a visitor can experience in many cities of Spain is the Nazarenos, dressed in a habit and with a pointed hood called capirote that covers entirely their heads, holding long wax candles, sometimes barefoot. They march in silence before the Passion. It is a moment of grief and sorrow. Apart from these religious celebrations, there is also a common festival that is celebrated in all Hispanic countries. It falls on the 12th of October, commemorating the anniversary of Christopher Columbus' arrival to the American continent. It is observed as the national holiday of Spain called Dia de la Hispanidad, wanting to celebrate the connection of the country to the Hispanidad, the international Hispanic community. Some Latin American countries remember the indigenous people's resistance to European settlement, and they name this day Dia de la Raza, Race Day, or Dia de la Resistencia Indígena, Day of Indigenous Resistance. However, most Hispanic countries choose to commemorate not Spanish influence or the indigenous importance, but both, recognizing the blend of European, American, African, and Asian cultures that help them to compose each and every Latin American country. Thus, they call this important day as Dia de la Culturas, Day of Cultures, or Dia del Respeto, a la Diversidad Cultural, Day of Respect for the Cultural Diversity. Now, then we have, सर ये नीचे का एक्टिविटी 2 में जो है वो पढ़ना है या उसके आगे जाना है? अदर सरप्राइजिंग सेलिब्रेशन. सर आपकी आवाज़ नहीं आ रही. म्यूट है.
Okay, my bad. So now these are four festivals given, and four pictures are there. You have to match.
Las Fallas, Feria de Abril, कार्नावल. कार्नावल तो कार्नावल जो है वही है सर ना. डियर दिस एंड.
नहीं, बट आपको डिस्क्रिप्शन बताना
ओके
है.
ओके
ठीक, नीचे डिस्क्रिप्शन है 1 2 3 4, ऊपर पिक्चर्स हैं 4. आपको मैच करना है कि कौन सी वाली पिक्चर किसको कर रही है.
ओके ओके ओके. So ये I should read it loud.
नहीं नहीं, अपने आप करेंगे चारों.
अपने अपने कर. ओके.
जितने बच्चे हैं, हाँ जितने बच्चे हैं अपने आप.
यस यस.
सर फर्स्ट वाला फेब्रुअरी दे अप्रैल जो है फर्स्ट ही है, ए है. ला फॉलोज वाला डी है, और कार्नावल सर सी है, और याद सेंट जॉर्ज ये बी है.
बी है सानखोर के.
लास्ट.
ठीक है, तो दिया दे सानखोर के बी और डी थोड़ा पढ़ेंगे. थोड़ा सा इंपॉर्टेंट है दोनों से ज्यादा. एक बार इनको रीड करेंगे कि क्या होता है इन दिनों में.
बी एंड डी सर.
यस, बी और डी थोड़े से ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है.
कैटलोनिया का Catalonia remembers the death of Saint George. Jorge. George बराबर ना.
Jorge.
On Jorge on 23rd of April as Dia de San Jorge or Diada de San Jorge in Catalan, exchanging gifts between colleagues and loved ones. Traditionally, men give women a rose and women give men a book to celebrate the occasion. This day is also known as El Dia de la Rosa or El Dia del Libro. The custom of giving books is related to the celebration of two great writers who died on the same date, 23rd April 1615, that is Miguel de Cervantes and William Shakespeare. Then D is this.
William Shakespeare and Cervantes died on the same day. So what happens is Cervantes is considered to be the William Shakespeare of Spanish. इतना दोनों ही great of the greatest people हैं. तो दोनों ही एक दिन मर गए. तो that's why that day is celebrated as the book day. Okay.
This celebration from 12th to 19th of March held in commemoration of Saint Joseph San Jose, Takes place in the city of Valencia, Spain. Each neighborhood produces a construction in wood, carton, and paper of huge puppets called ninots.
जी,
Ninots.
Not. So this is something like क्या कहते हैं उसको?
10 मिनट
जैसे हम
में
यहाँ पे,
बात करेंगे
can you please mute?
पति बोलने के लिए कि मेरे तो आधे घंटे में खत्म होगा, मैं मम्मी नीचे गई है ना, तो ये सारा अपना ओके।
Raksha, mute.
Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
I am so sorry.
Please mute. So I don't know what. So
Ninots.
last fires is something like जैसे हम यहाँ पे दशहरा नहीं मनाते.
हाँ जी. नहीं.
Similar to तो हम जैसे यहाँ बड़ा बड़ा वो बनाते हैं ना रावण
Yes.
and we
Yes.
burn them. So they also make, but they make very beautiful and cartoonish stuff, and then they also burn at the end. वो भी जला देते हैं.
Yes. The last night of all ninots, except the winner of the contest, is eventually burnt.
Yes. चलिए नेक्स्ट आइए अब रीड करते हैं अबाउट सैन फेरमीन. फिर जिसने मूवी देखी है उसको
लोग
थोड़ा सा आइडिया होगा सैन फेरमीन के बारे
जिंदगी ना मिलेगी दोबारा सर वो
में.
पिक्चर
एग्जैक्टली हाँ, जो लास्ट उसमें से सैन फेरमीन ही
और
बना.
लास्ट सीन सान फर्मिन. Every year, thousands of persons fill up the streets of Pamplona, Navarra, Spain, to celebrate the week-long festivities in honor of Saint San Fermin. From July 7 to 14, this huge celebration known as Los San Fermin starts with the launch of a rocket, El Chupinazo, Chupinazo, and it's the singing of this
चुपिनासो.
infectious song.
चुपिनासो इज लाइक दैट, क्या कहते हैं उसको, तो रॉकेट नहीं जाता ऊपर, उसमें भी दिखाया था उस मूवी में कि रॉकेट जाएगा तो हम भागना शुरू करेंगे. दैट इज चुपिनासो.
Chupinazo. The American author Ernest Hemingway used the events of this celebration in one of his famous books, The Sun Also Rises, and since then it has become one of the most famous festivals around the world. That is why many visitors from other parts of Spain, even the world, come to celebrate with the Pamploneses, the people from Pamplona. Everybody is dressed up in white clothing and put a red handkerchief around their neck and enjoy music, fireworks, religious ceremonies, and the most popular event, the Encierro, bull running. In this carrying event, hundreds of people run in front of 6 bulls along some narrow streets of old town of Pamplona. This event is very dangerous. Some people even get accidentally killed or injured by the bulls. However, it is still one of the most expected moments of Los Sanfermines. The festival ends at midnight on the 14th with the sad song Pobre de mi que se han acabado las fiestas de San Fermin. Poor me, the San Fermin festivities have ended. Then La Tomatina. तो इसके बारे में तो ये
हाँ ये है, ये पूरा आपको होमवर्क में करना पड़ेगा. दिस वुड बी अ होमवर्क टोमाटीना का, दैट यू टू फिल इन द ब्लैंक्स. बट इसका मोटा मोटा ही समझ लो कि ये 11 मार्च को मनाते हैं. एंड टोमेटोज, इट इज रिलेटेड इन बुनियोल. बस ये दो इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ें, बाकी तो यू कैन डू इट ऑन योर ओन, इट्स इन इंग्लिश इटसेल्फ. अभी हमारा जो बच्चा है वो हमारे टैंगो, नहीं टैंगो हो गया, हाँ टैंगो हो गया. हमारा जो बच्चा है वो बच्चा था फ्लामेंको. तो फ्लामेंको बचा है, बस फ्लामेंको रीड करते हैं और ये हमारा ब्लॉक 4 हो जाएगा फिनिश.
फ्लेमिंको तो पढ़ लिया था मेरे ख्याल से.
फिर कौन सा एक बचा था? आई एम नॉट एबल टू रिकॉल कौन सा
एक
बचा.
बचा था बट 14 में था, कहाँ था?
देख के बताओ
टैंगो.
कौन सा बचा था.
म्यूजिक के बारे में था मेरे ख्याल से.
हाँ कोई तो था, वेट लेट मी रिकॉल.
सालसा भी
सब
था.
म्यूजिक के बारे में आप पढ़ाते बोले थे आपसे,
आई
उसके
गेस
बाद
दिस,
में पढ़ेंगे बोला.
म्यूजिक फ्रॉम द कैरिबियन बचा था. आई गेस सालसा था और द कैरिबियन
सालसा.
में टैंगो
टैंगो.
एंड
टैंगो
शकीरा.
था.
हाँ सो हम डायरेक्टली आर्ट पे आ गए थे. ठीक है, ओनली दिस इज लेफ्ट, म्यूजिक फ्रॉम द कैरिबियन, देन वी आर डन. चलिए
सब पढ़ूं?
हाँ गो अहेड.
If flamenco is a star of Spanish music from an international perspective, so is salsa among the Caribbean music. In Spanish, salsa means sauce and refers to a mixture of different ingredients that compose this rich rhythm. Son and guanco from Cuba, Plena and bomba from Puerto Rico, Spanish music. Mambo as a style, salsa was born and named in New York City during the 70s. The first salsa bands were predominantly Norican, New Yorkers of Puerto Rican descent, but very soon it became popular in other Latin American countries. Some of the founding salsa artists were Johnny Pacheco, the creator of Fania All Stars, Billy Colon, Roberto Roina, or Hector Lavoe. There is a film called El Cantante, based on the life and work of this last singer, starred by Mark Anthony, one of today's most important salsa artists. The instrumentation of salsa is rich in percussion, congas, bongos, cymbales, maracas, liro, etc. The lyrics are usually happy and cheerful, and the dancing is lively and sensual. Salsa is normally a partner dance, although it can also be danced in groups, as in Rueda the Casino, where groups of couples exchange partners in a circle. Today, there are many salsa styles: Cuban salsa, New York style, Los Angeles style, Colombian style. But apart from these different styles, the most important thing that today there are hubs and places of the world where you can dance salsa: France, Germany, England, Japan, and India, of course. Then other Caribbean rhythms. Other well-known rhythm of the Caribbean is merengue, the national dance of the Dominican Republic. It is perhaps one of the happiest music in the whole American continent and also one of the easiest dances. There are many legends about how merengue dancing originated. Some think that this dance form comes from slaves who were chained together and used to drag one leg as they were working cutting sugarcane to the beat of drums. In other places, it originates dates back to the days of the revolution, where villagers welcomed home a wounded hero who received victory. Considering his wound, everybody imitated his limp while dancing, dragging on one foot. The other Dominican music is bachata, a slow dance with very romantic lyrics, excellent for dancing in pairs. The genius of these Dominican rhythms is Juan Luis Guerra, winner of many awards, including 18 Latin Grammy Awards. His songs Ojalá que Hueva Cafe, Las Avispas, and so are known all over the world. But the last American music phenomenon is the reggaeton, which originated in Puerto Rico. This style combines the Jamaican reggae, the Trinidadian soca, and dancehall, some bomba and plena from Puerto Rico, and hip hop and rap from the US. It is a genre dominated by men, and there are very few women that sing reggaeton. Lyrics tend to be aggressive and sexually connoted. In an attempt to avoid censorship, the reggaeton artists prefer to use double meanings in the lyrics. Reggaeton dancing, sexy and passionate, is very popular in clubs and discos, and especially in Puerto Rico. The reggaeton singer Daddy Yankee has released many hits such as Gasolina and Lo que paso paso.
Exactly. So very
Then we
famous.
have South America music. In the previous section, we have learned about some Caribbean rhythms such as salsa, merengue, bachata, and reggaeton. We hope you have enjoyed listening to Caribbean music. In the foreign section, we'll learn about South America's famous music and dance form El Tango, and we'll read about the life and work of Shakira. Tango, if you think of Argentinian music, the first thing that will come to your mind is tango. Tango originated in the poor and unprivileged areas of Buenos Aires during the 19th century. These neighborhoods were filled with African and European immigrants who used to dance in the streets of metropolis. Tango music is therefore a blend of European, African, and gaucho rhythms. The sensual dance form that was emerging in Argentina was not looked upon kindly by the upper class of Buenos Aires. Only after it became popular in Europe, the wealthy porteños, Buenos Aires citizens, started to give it some recognition. Today, it is danced all over the world, and there are many international contests in the US, Japan, and Europe on tango dancing. In 2009, UNESCO declared tango one of the masterpieces of the intangible heritage of humanity. Tango music is played with a piano, double bass, a violin, and a bandoneon. The songs are composed using local slang called lonfardo and often express the amorous sorrows of a man blaming women for his heartaches. Enrique Santos Discépolo, one of the greatest exponents of this music, defined tango as un pensamiento triste que se baila, a sad thought that is danced. Tango is danced in pairs with slow movements, long steps, the most important component in fashion. One of the most important figures in tango music is Carlos Gardel, who became a symbol in Hollywood. His song For Una Cabeza was popularized in numerous films like Scent of a Woman, where Al Pacino, starring a blind colonel, dances a tango. Then we have Shakira, South American singer. Shakira Isabel Mebarak Ripoll is perhaps one of the most famous Hispanic singers of the moment. Born in Barranquilla, Colombia, from a Lebanese father and mother with Spanish roots, Shakira has in her blood the fusion. And fusion is her music, pop and rock, Oriental and Occidental, Spanish and English. She started writing her own songs at the age of 8, and today she has already released 5 albums and won 2 Latin Grammys. Her first album was Magia, composed of songs that she wrote as a child, was released when she was a teenager. But the album that gave her huge success was Pies Descalzos, Bare Feet. Released when she was 16, she sold almost 4 million copies internationally in 2 years, performing to audiences worldwide. In order to be even more international, Shakira started writing songs in English. Although she was raised in English rock bands, the Beatles, Nirvana, the Police, or Led Zeppelin. In the beginning, it was difficult to create lyrics in a language other than Spanish. But reading an English poetry and looking up words in rhyming dictionaries helped a lot in the new task. Who knows, perhaps one day you will also write poems and songs in Spanish. Then it's over, sir. Blancos. End पर आ गए.
Yes, are we done?
Yes.
Okay. So I guess this would be like ये तुम्हारा पूरा हो गया ब्लॉक 4. इसमें हमने आई गेस सब कुछ ही पढ़ लिया, कुछ बचा नहीं है.
Nice, sir.
हम जस्ट रीचेकिंग कुछ बचा है तो हाँ सब हो गया. Cool. तो नाउ दिस इज इन इंग्लिश, दैट्स एन एडवांटेज फॉर यू. तो आप लोग इसको इंग्लिश में पढ़ सकते हैं. अच्छा, आई सॉ सम असाइनमेंट ऑन द ग्रुप. वो समझ में आ गया आप लोगों को? नहीं आया? हेलो,
कौन सा असाइनमेंट सर जो सबमिट किया था 15th को?
हाँ कर दिया आप लोगों ने सबमिट?
नहीं सर, मैंने और थोड़े स्टूडेंट्स हैं उन्होंने नहीं किया है, बिकॉज कुछ जो समझ नहीं आया तो इसलिए पूरा समझने के बाद सबमिट करेंगे ऐसे सोचा है.
अच्छा, ऐसा अलाउ है?
यस सर.
चित्राक्षर
Actually, मैं
कहा
सर
कि
जून
कर-
10
में
का
स्टूडेंट हूँ तो
एग्जाम है सर.
जून में
जून 10 को एग्जाम है, उससे पहले सबमिट कर सकते हैं बोला है. इसलिए हम लोग ने सोचा है कि जो उस टाइम में कुछ सबमिट करेंगे, क्योंकि पूरा करेक्शन वैसे करेक्शन चेक करके
तो कुछ समझ में आपको या आप लोग कर लेंगे खुद ही?
सर हमने सोचा कि दिसंबर में एग्जाम देंगे, इसलिए तो हमने नहीं सबमिट किया. चित्राक्षा, मैंने, शिवांगी है, खुशबू है, आई थिंक और भी ऐसे 2-3 लोग हैं.
तो एग्जाम से पहले असाइनमेंट हमें सबमिट करना रहता है, मतलब जब भी आप दें.
हाँ, दैट आई एग्री.
Yes,
मींस
sir.
जब आपका एग्जाम उससे पहले आपका असाइनमेंट सबमिट होना चाहिए बस.
यस सर.
हाँ, दिस इज देयर.
फिलहाल तो असाइनमेंट कंप्लीट हो गया है हमारा. तो फ्यू डेज में आई विल बी सबमिटिंग माय असाइनमेंट.
ओके, कोई डाउट है तो पूछ लेंगे.
ठीक है.
So can we discuss the questions of the assignment, please, sir?
डिस्कस, ठीक है.